Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 125. We have some really positive numbers out of both Giga Berlin and Giga Texas. And despite all the OEMs are all out saying they will catch up to Tesla, well, the numbers shows they are falling behind. And the EU Union is making the ban of the new ICE cars by 2035. Sorry, BMW. And Tesla is reaching a big milestone in Europe with their charging network. And the Tesla Model S Plaid broke the 200 miles per hour top speed for the first time. And we have a lot of updates about the Tesla Gigafactories. And we got the Tesla Q numbers. And Elon is adopting the Tesla app.
Like bath.
All this and much more to come on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
And let's take a dive into the production numbers.
And we did see a lot of action in the last days of Q2 at the Tesla factories. And even Franz, Tesla's chief designer, was out helping out with deliveries at many Tesla stores all over LA. Nice to see when Tesla says all hands on deck, they mean all hands on deck. But we did get the Q2 numbers Saturday, and they were pretty much in line with what was expected. As Tesla wrote on their press release, in the second quarter we produced over 258,000 vehicles and delivered over 254 vehicles, despite ongoing supply chain challenges and factory shutdown beyond our control. So very impressive with all the headwinds, Tesla is still able to grow their Q2 numbers with 26% year over year. And Troy Tesla was only about 1,700 from those production numbers, and Brian from My Tesla Weekend was even closer with only 1,000 units from those numbers in his prediction. Very impressive. And it's easy to see that it is the Shanghai factory that is holding Tesla back. As we can see here on this chart from Alex, Tesla sales in the US were still up over 50% in Q2. And as we can see, the Porsche was the only one that had a little bit of growth. Everyone else was down. So no doubt that what Tesla is doing here is very impressive. With all the headwinds we see right now, they are still growing while everyone else is down. But looking forward, I think the most important takeaway from the Tesla press release was this sentence. June 2022 was the highest vehicle production month in Tesla's history. So Tesla is not only back on track from before the lockdown, Tesla is now producing more cars than they have ever done before. So that should bode very well for Q3 and Q4. And in the month of June, we can see Tesla is still also killing it in Europe, even with the Berlin factory at a low volume and the lower volume coming for China because of the lockdown. These numbers are only from 4 countries in Europe, but this is because they are the only one that gives daily updates. So we are still waiting for all the other countries and their numbers. But in these 4 countries combined, Tesla is still beating the Volkswagen brand with about twice the amount of EVs sold. And surprise, surprise, the Model Y was by far the best-selling EV in June in these 4 countries combined. But alas, that is just cherry-picking data from 4 countries. Sure, then let's take a look at the entire EV market year-to-date globally. Tesla has globally, year-to-date, including May, sold 406,869 units. And that still makes them the best-selling EV maker on the face of the planet by far. Number 2 is BYD with about 250,000 units. GM is in third, but that is pretty much only the Wuling Mini EV sales that GM takes full credit for, even though they don't even make the car. Wuling does, and SAIC is also part of that joint venture, but the 2 others get 0 credits and GM takes it all, because without it, GM would hardly be in the top 50 maybe. So I am not going to give all that credit to GM, sorry Mary. So I'm not even going to count GM in this top 10 list, because we have to split like 90% of those numbers in 3. So at the real number 3 spot we have Volkswagen with 164,000 that many think will catch up to Tesla, but the numbers shows us they are getting further behind. Last year Volkswagen sold about half of what Tesla did, 450,000 versus 937,000, but year to date Tesla is about 147% in front of Volkswagen. Sorry, but that is not gaining on Tesla, this is moving further away, as we have seen them do every other year. Yes, there is no competition close to Tesla, even here in the first 5 months of 2022. Yeah, there has been a lot of talk over the last 5 years, but only Tesla is showing actions to back up their words. And of course a BYD that has really rise to the challenge here in 2022. And even if we took GM's fake numbers and combined them with all of the Volkswagen Group's numbers, they would not even beat Tesla, even though they both think they can overtake Tesla. Yeah, my bet is that GM, Volkswagen and Ford combined will not even outsell Tesla here in 2022.
And Tesla's ramp of the Texas and Berlin factory has not been without any problems, but it seems they might be getting some traction now. Tesla has started production of the Model Y long range at the Texas and Berlin factory now, so that is really good news. It does seem like Tesla have had some troubles with the drivetrain in some of the Model Y performance version, but should not be all of them, maybe just a bad bunch, so nothing I think we need to worry about, but a very good sign that they are now getting the long range off the ground as well. That will also help Tesla with getting the production ramp up, and Tesla is now also making the Model Y in the Texas factory with the 2170 cells. So they now have 2 different battery packs running at that factory. And there are rumors about Tesla Texas factory already being able to produce 2,000 units a week. And we even heard as high as 5,000 units a week. That does sound a bit too high in my opinion though. We only had to go back a couple of weeks where they only were producing a couple of 100 Model Ys a week. So making a sudden jump to 5,000 sounds a bit too fast even for Tesla. But 2,000 could be possible, and that would mean we should be at about 8,000 in production run rate a month. Tesla did get to those numbers in the 3rd month of the ramp of the Shanghai factory, so not far off here, and I do expect them to pick up the pace in the next couple of months. Remember, Texas now have 2 different production lines with the Model Y, one with the 4680 and one with the 2170, and the factory is more efficient and is building the cars with both the rear and the front gigacasting, so when they get it figured out and tuned in, we should see them grow their production fast in Texas and Berlin as well compared to the ramp in Shanghai. But to really show how impressive this ramp in Texas really is, we can compare it to Ford's latest numbers from May. Ford sold globally 7,860 units of its Mark E. So even though Ford has been producing this car since December 2020, well, Texas factory is apparently already producing more Model Ys than Ford is able to produce of the Mark E on a global scale. If this does not show you just how big the joke is that anyone thinks Ford will ramp up faster than Tesla is able to do, I don't know what numbers will convince you, but we might have even more ramp coming for the Texas factory, as we now see the application for the expansion of the Texas factory that we heard Elon talk about is now official. The application says Tesla is planning for a 500,000 square foot expansion for General Assembly 2 and 3. So Tesla plans to expand the biggest car factory on the planet with its over 10 million square foot under one roof with another 500,000 square foot. To put it into perspective, the state-of-the-art factory that Ford built for their F-150 Lightning, the Rouge, is a 500,000 square foot. So Tesla's little expansion here is as big as Ford's whole EV factory. This really put in perspective just the scale Tesla is going for and the small step legacy autos is taking. That anyone thinks they have a chance of catching up is beyond my understanding. Like John Murphy, senior auto analyst from Bank of America, is saying in its annual Car Wars study. Bank of America predict that Ford and General Motors will surpass Tesla's electric vehicle sales by 2025. Seems to be the common theme at the moment. Everyone will catch Tesla by 2025. And John thinks it's because Tesla is not moving fast enough. Oh, cute. Because Tesla doesn't have enough models. I have actually heard this coming quite a lot lately. On social media and so on. Tesla can't scale up because they don't have models enough. Just like Apple is not successful in the smartphone industry because they don't have 40 different models. Tesla will have one perfect electric car in every single category, and that will enable Tesla to scale much faster because they keep it simple. An economy of scale of just a few models will help Tesla keep the best margins in the car industry. And as we can see, demand is off the charts. They have nothing to worry about here, and Ford and GM want to complicate things with 30 different models. Tesla's one model, the Tesla Model 3, last year sold 500,000 units, more than 500,000 units, and will probably hit about 700,000 units this year. And Elon expects the Model Y to do something like 1.2, maybe 1.5 million units next year. So let's see if GM, with its 30 different models by 2025, can even catch up with just Tesla's 2 models. Let's see when GM, the whole group, will make as many EVs as only Tesla's one model, the Model Y. Let's see what year GM will beat that single model from Tesla. Yes, I don't think this prediction will age very well, just as all the other things that Ford, GM and Volkswagen will catch up with Tesla by 2025. But luckily, we only have 3 years left to get our answers. But these legacy automakers are mostly talk. Remember, Mercedes back in 2017 said that they would electrify their entire car lineup by 2022. How's that going? But anyway, meanwhile, GM is also mostly talk. As we see here, they only produced 1,831 EVs in the United States in all of May. Tesla in Berlin reached 1,000 units in a week a couple of weeks back, and they should have started a third shift now, so it seems like that factory is also progressing and will likely double their output soon with the third shift. Currently, Berlin has 2 alternative shifts starting at either 6:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. And according to a Tesla employee, Gigafactories will introduce a night shift from July the 4th and onwards, so the factory will be running 24 hours a day. And the rumor also says that they might start including Saturday in the work week as well, so getting another day of work as well as a third shift. If it's all true, we should start seeing some good progress in July and really picking up the pace in August. So the Berlin factory should be producing more EVs in a week by now than GM has been able to do in a month in the US. Yeah, GM is really catching up to Tesla here. Yep, it is clear as day. You let Mary, you did. But we have also heard about that the salary for the employees at Gigafactories might be a bit low, but Tesla is doing something about it. In consultation with the Gigafactories Works Council, Tesla has decided to increase the salary of many of the workers by 6% and will apply to employees on the factory floor as well as the manager of those teams, according to an internal memo reviewed by Drive Tesla. And now Volkswagen is also out changing their tune and saying they will overtake Tesla by 2025. I made a Tesla short video this week about it, so if you have already seen that, you can skip to the next chapter of this new show. But here is just a short overview that Herbert Diess said in an internal meeting. Elon Musk simultaneously ramping up 2 highly complex factories in Austin and Grünheide and expanding production in Shanghai. That will cost him strength, he said. We have to seize the opportunity and catch up quickly. By 2025 we can be in the lead, he said. So he thinks that Tesla is weakening because of their 2 new factory and the expansion in China. What? So because Tesla has to ramp up 2 new factories and adding more capacity to its production, Volkswagen will be able to catch up? Yeah, I don't get the logic here, Herbert. So he should be thrilled that Tesla is expanding the Texas factory, adding more capacity, weakening Tesla even more. But remember, Volkswagen also thought in 2030 that they would overtake Tesla in 2018, and they thought in 2020 that they would catch up in 2023. But now it is 2025. Sure, good to be optimistic, Volkswagen. Great. But I think this saga will just continue when we hit 2025. Then they will maybe say 2030 and just continue to push out the timeline, as they have done for almost a decade now. But I actually don't think they will say that in 2025 because it will be so painfully obvious that they have no chance to catch up with Tesla's production ramp at that point. One of the reasons why is the 2 new factories that Tesla has just built. Volkswagen will not have anything close to the Texas factory up and running by 2025. They are aiming for the new Trinity factory in Germany by 2026 that should be able to keep up with Tesla's production speed of the Model Y it had in 2021 of 10 hours. But I made a little Tesla short video about this week, as I said, and asked if anyone knew the production numbers of that factory, and it seems to be 250,000. So half of Tesla's production in the Berlin factory from their first phase of 4. And that is probably going to take a couple of years to get those production numbers, as we saw with the Zwickau factory. So we are probably not going to get to 250,000 EVs coming from that great new factory before 2028. Damn, they are moving slowly. 250,000. This will never be enough to catch up to someone like Tesla. But we can also see in the video that Volkswagen made for the plan for the Trinity factory that they have not learned much from Tesla. They still build several different buildings, making different things, where Tesla has everything under one roof. They will never be as efficient as Tesla Berlin or Texas factory. But anyway, this factory will not be ready before 2026. Yes, I will bet that Tesla will have another factory, if not more than one, but at least one factory fully up and running before Volkswagen's Trinity factory is online. Volkswagen is simply not moving fast enough to keep up with Tesla, that is running much faster than Volkswagen will probably ever be able to do. So I don't think this will age very well, as all the other catching up to Tesla predictions has not aged very well, but time will tell. And European Union countries endorsed a push to eliminate carbon emission from new cars by 2035, effectively heralding the end of an era for the internal combustion engine. The EU takes historic steps to phase out combustion engines by 2035. Government reached agreement, but more talks follow for final steps. Deal includes stronger carbon making, improving price controls. So we are going to get this ban by 2035, even though BMW tried to lobby against this decision, but it didn't work. Herbert Diess, Volkswagen CEO, said about it, "No ICE in Europe in 2035 should not scare us. It can come. We are best prepared." Very good. BMW don't feel the same way. BMW CEO said, "Putting all your eggs in one basket in this day and age is a mistake in industrial policy." But dear BMW, Europe is going all electric, whether you like it or not, and the trend show us much faster than 2035. So if you want to be part of the future transportation sector, you better jump on board. Norway is already pretty much there, with 80 to 90% of new car sales being electric, and that is even 3 years before their early ban in 2025. But BMW can of course join Toyota, that is fighting hard to keep the electric revolution down and trying to slow down the transition because they are not ready. Their first BEV I talked about last week, the BZ4X, has not been a great success for Toyota, with recalls because the wheels might fall off, the medium range, acceleration, charging speed, and very poor charging performance in cold weather. So because Toyota has been so slow to adopt EVs, they are missing out on many green investors as well and support for the government. So now Toyota has flexed their big muscle and forced the government to include hybrids and hydrogen vehicles, to call them all electric powered vehicles. So the so-called electric powered vehicles appear to put fossil fuel burning hybrids on equal footing with zero emission battery vehicles. Great. So Toyota is desperately trying to fight the inevitable instead of spending all their time and money to get into the game. They're trying to prevent the game from being played. That will not end well, Toyota. This will only hurt yourself in the long run, and you will completely lose the European and Chinese market in not more than 5 years. You are betting on the wrong horse, Toyota. But Toyota could just start buying some Tesla and sell them again. As we saw on Twitter, Da Booster sold his Tesla Model 3 to a Toyota dealer and got $51,000 for it. But the dealer sold it again for $68,000 just a week later. So the Toyota dealer earned about $17,000 on that Tesla. That is probably the most Toyota has ever earned on an electric car. And Tesla reached a big milestone in Europe with their charging network this week and has added some cool new features to the navigation system I hope will come to Europe for the summer holiday. Green the Only showed on Twitter that you can now get alternative route on your Tesla navigation system in the US. I would really like that here in Europe as well, going on a road trip with my family again in a couple of weeks around Europe, and that would be a really nice feature to have. But the summer holiday is approaching here in Europe and Tesla is ready for it, as they just put up their supercharger station number 800 here in Europe and now have nearly 9,000 supercharger stalls in Europe in more than 30 countries. And the number 800 is located in France and has 28 charging stalls, reflecting Tesla's latest strategy of opening larger locations to accommodate the growing fleet of Teslas in Europe. The Nebenes location in Norway still holds the record as the largest location here in Europe with 44 superchargers. But the most important thing when going on a road trip like me and my family is about to do is that you can count on the chargers working when you get there, and that is exactly what you will do with your Tesla charger network. That has an average uptime of 99.96%. No one else is even close. Most others has an uptime about 75%. Fastnet here in Europe is one of them that get the closest with 93% uptime. And Tesla, of course, continues to open up their supercharger network to other EVs. It is now live in 13 markets with over 250 locations and 3,600 superchargers. That actually make it bigger than someone like Volkswagen's spin-off Ionity they had to start because of the Dieselgate scandal, which in about 5 years have put up roughly 1,500 chargers across Europe. So Tesla now has the biggest charging network in Europe for non-Teslas, with chargers over 150 kilowatt. You're welcome, Volkswagen, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, and all the rest. You're welcome. Tesla is building chargers for your customers, even though you don't want to. You're welcome. And as I said many times before, I think opening up is going to be the biggest PR stunt ever and will earn Tesla billions. But now even Goldman Sachs is starting to realize this, as they wrote. We estimate that the incremental revenue opportunity could be $1 to $3 billion in a few years from opening up the network, although Tesla wouldn't necessarily capture all of this. But long term, yeah, I think we're gonna look back at this move as a masterpiece chess move from Tesla. And let's get our weekly update about the Gigafactory. That means handing it over to Brian from My Tesla Weekend. Take it away, Brian.
Hey Lars. Well, in Fremont, the overflow lot near the test track is mostly cleared out. Looks like all those deliveries are being pushed through at the end of the quarter. Over by the rail yard, we see another area that's been cleared out of construction material and supplies. Something is going on over here. In Shanghai, the building we've been following, On the west side, the expansion there is mostly closed off, and in the north central area, that little building is closed off. Big progress. In Berlin, at the north of the building, we can see the parking extension is getting some pavement. The westward-facing solar panels on the roof are coming along nicely, and to the south, the parking extension is well underway still. More pavement, more good stuff going on there. The Motorworks building has got some excavation going on to the south of it that looks more involved than you would see for just parking or landscaping. This building may be expanding soon. The 4680 building is getting more fire escapes and generally closed off and interior work being done. And interestingly, dirt is being brought from this pile and also this train to build up the land over here where there's already footings being poured. There's a new building going in, and you can kind of see the footprint. In Texas, we've got a lot more parking rework. This should be winding down in the next few weeks. The main parking lot has some subtle improvements. Again, this little hill in the south is getting bigger, and the cathode building has more steel up, and its final footings being put in. Over by the switchyard, the leveling and grading is going nicely. We should start seeing construction here in the next couple weeks. And the big T in solar panels on the roof is taking shape nicely. Good work, guys. You should take a bow. Back to you, Lars.
That is awesome, Brian. Thank you so much for the update. A lot of cool new stuff is going on, so thank you so much for the amazing update, Brian. And see you next week.
And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show.
Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts.
On June the 29th, SpaceX launched the 27th mission of 2022 and of course landed the Falcon 9 rocket booster back down, and that was the landing number 127 of a Falcon 9 booster. Just amazing. And SpaceX also received FCC approval to provide Starlink service on planes, boats and other vehicles in motion. Oh yes, now it's about to take off to new heights. And Sandy Monroe got his hands on the Texas Model Y, so you know what that means. We are soon going to learn a lot more about Tesla's battery pack with the 4680 cells. This is probably going to be one of the most exciting teardown Sandy has ever had to do with a Tesla. He already showed off some of the difference between the 2170 cell battery pack for the Model Y and the Model S. Also very, very interesting. If you want to learn more, I will leave a link down below, but keep your eye on Monroe Live. We will soon get to learn a lot more. And we have to say goodbye to a little EV icon. The BMW i3 will now no longer be made. We bid you farewell. Australian lithium miner Liontown Resources has struck a deal to supply Ford with crucial electric vehicle battery materials and has given the green light to the development of its flagship West Australian project following a loan from the US automaker. Ford will receive up to 150,000 dry metric tons of spodumene per year from Liontown once its Kathleen Valley lithium mine begins production, which is expected already in 2024. Ford Vice President of the EV industrialization, Lisa Drake, said the Liontown lithium deal helped the American carmaker support its goal to produce 2 million EVs by 2026. Nice to see Ford make these kinds of moves. And speaking of Ford, their CFO John Lawler said, "When we launched the Mark E, we had a positive bottom line. Raw material cost wiped that out. You will see the pressure on the bottom line when we launch our E vehicles. They will not be positive, so still struggling with the profitability of the EVs. Hopefully some of the deals we just talked about could help with this in the future." This week, it was 12 years ago Tesla IPO'd. If you had bought a stock then at the opening for $3.40 or $17 pre-split, you'll be up over 20,000% today. Nice. And speaking of the stock, don't forget that Tesla will hold the annual shareholder meeting on the 4th of August, and I think it will be bullish. And if you didn't catch it in the interview with Tesla owner Silicon Valley and Elon has now adopted the Tesla app.
It will need to slap them in the face, like bath.
Yep, we need to slap those legacy automakers awake.
And here is a little video about a methane car being filled up with 3600 psi. Just imagine how a little accident like this will look on a hydrogen car that is being filled up with 10,000 psi. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with my little dangerous EV. And the Tesla Model S Plaid broke the 200 miles top speed for the first time. It should be software limited not to go over 200 miles per hour, but this guy got it up to 216 miles per hour, about 350 kilometers an hour, and it looks pretty easy as well. But that is just some insane speed. And Tesla Raj made a great video this week about how much it costs in maintenance to drive a Tesla for 300,000 miles. Raj's friend has just passed that 300,000 miles in his Tesla and has spent a grand total of $9,760 for 300,000 miles. Not bad. I will leave a link to his video down below. And we saw this week a pre-assembled supercharger being installed at Laguna Seca, delivered by a Tesla semi-truck. Oh yes, it is all starting to come together nicely. And Jonna Krita just made a new interview with Elon Musk for her podcast Getting Stoned. Definitely worth checking out. I will leave a link down below if you want to hear it. And you can all relax now. Elon is back on Twitter. As he wrote, "Sorry, I was playing Elden Ring. What did I miss?" Probably just an insane end to an insane quarter that kept Elon busy. And of course, maybe because the man also had to celebrate his own birthday this week. Happy birthday, Elon Musk. But while he was away, Elon reached 100 million followers on Twitter. Just insane. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. Stephen Hand and Bill Walsh. And I want to thank you for watching, members. Emily Cassidy, Bart Wind, and Bantu Morpheus. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week, and this week's winner is Bobby Freeman. He has been a Best in Tesla superhero of mine for 8 months. He got a shout out all the way back in my news episode number 67. And here we are in episode 125, and Bobby is still sticking around. So thank you so much for all the support you have given me over the last 8 months. Thank you. And please contact me on this email down below so I can get your address to send you your free t-shirt or mug of your choice. Thank you, Bobby. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Here is a little video of the legacy automakers watching the EV adoption take place. 1 EV, 2 EV, 3 EV. No, we have plenty of time. What the hell? Whoa. That is all we have time for in this new show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out so others can find it here on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one and a lot more. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to a donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.